titled Last Words, because it's my last Sunday here. Yeah, God deserves the glory, man. Yeah, so as most of you know, moving on, starting a rehab in East London. Hope to apply what I've learned here, hope to make it a success, but to keep it a God project. Amen. Alright, so last words, like if my dad was on his deathbed and calls me over and he's about to give me his last words, it's something important. Alright, so please listen. Okay, alright. On my way here, I was thinking, listen, Lord, what am I going to preach about? What am I going to say? I've got a few one-liners because I'm the king of one-liners. I like words. But on the way here, God gave me a picture of 4 types of people. So I'm going to share it with you. You get either people are offended and accountable, right? But these people then become frustrated and judgmental. Because they're accountable to certain people, whether it be leaders in the church, your boss, if you're in a relationship, if you're in a sport group, or whatever the case may be, but you become easily offended by the people you're accountable to, you become judgmental and frustrated, right? Then you get people who are offended and unaccountable at the same time. Now most of us were there. We become easily offended, and we're unaccountable, we don't listen to anybody, and then we are victims of our circumstances and situations and events in our lives. Then you get people who are unoffended and unaccountable. We were there as well. You get to a place where you can't be offended anymore because you don't have any emotions or feelings, you're so just not in touch with reality. And there's nobody you're accountable to, you become rebellious. And what we're striving for is the 4th type of person. That's, you must become unoffendable, but be accountable. And then you'll see a dramatic change in your life. Alright? It will be amazing. But you become unoffendable, so no matter who says what, if things don't go your way, if you don't agree with something, you don't get offended by it. You remain accountable. Imagine being able to be unoffendable. Sure. Nobody has power over you. No situations, no circumstances, nothing. And then to be accountable is you operate in the spirit of meekness like Jesus Christ, and you choose to submit to the people around you. You see, many of us think meekness is equal to weakness, and humility is not strength. But put it to you this way. If Mike Tyson was here and he lets you beat him up, he's being meek. He's operating with the spirit of meekness. So that you can feel good about yourself. You are not better than Mike Tyson. That's going to kick your ass, you know what I'm saying? So he in himself is able and strong enough to probably take us all on at the same time. Right? But he chooses not to, so that you can learn a valuable lesson of how it feels to be empowered. You get what I'm saying? That's meekness. That's Jesus on the cross. But we think, alright, cool, because I know better or I see a different way, I want to do it that way, and I'm going to force people to see it that way because everybody else has got it wrong. And then we don't operate in the spirit of meekness. Anyways, I'm going off the topic. So become unoffendable, but remain accountable. And you'll see a change in your life. Right, please turn to Proverbs 6 verse 23. Castro, can you get me a glass of water? Proverbs 6 verse 23. Alright, you guys got it? Let me just find it. Okay, for a command is a lamp, a teaching is a light, and corrective discipline is the way to life. Right? Very interesting. In Psalm 119, I'm going to turn there quick, just stay here in Proverbs. In Psalm 119 from verse 105 it says, "Your word is a lamp for my feet and a light on my path. I have solemnly sworn to keep your righteous judgments. I am severely afflicted. Lord, give me life through your word. Lord, please accept my willing offerings of praise and teach me your judgments. My life is constantly endangered, yet I do not forget your instruction. The wicked have set a trap for me, but I have not wandered from your precepts. I have your decrees as a heritage forever. Indeed, they are the joy of my heart, and I am resolved to obey your statutes to the very end." Last time I preached, I spoke about to obey your statutes to the very end, and we went over to I hate this and I hate that, right? But what it says over here, it starts off with, "Your word is a lamp for my feet and a light for my path." Alright. Is anybody here when the Prince of Darkness, not Satan, has decided to pull in, and then you don't have a torch? You don't know where you're going? You're kind of like this, especially if there's stairs. You're like, and then your friend comes behind you and bumps you. It's not, you don't feel so secure and so safe, right? Imagine you don't know where you're going. Like most of us, right? You don't have an idea of where we're going. And the Prince of Darkness pulls in. A real one, Satan. Similar effect, right? You don't know where you're going. You don't have the lamp and the light. You'll be terrified. You see, man, it's so important that you guys get this, that something has to be our measuring stick. We have to use something to show us where to go, what to do, and how to do it. Amen. We'll get some people to give us bad instruction, but we're still accountable for our actions. If we follow that, it's still on us. We have to make sure that the light into our path and the lamp into our feet is right. Have you ever been to a holiday resort and they've got this nice walkway at night, and they've got every 2 meters a little light on the side? It looks beautiful. You get what I'm saying? All the lights going up, and it takes you to the dining room where you can go to the restaurant. It's lekker. You want to walk up there. Eh? It's the same thing with the word. It's a lamp unto your, it shows you where to go. If we read the Bible like we read our newspapers, it will change our lives. If we read our Bibles like we read carte blanche when we watch it, if we read our Bibles like we read the news, it will change our lives. How many of us have been inspired by a great action movie, and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I want to go do that, that's awesome. Right? Most of us, you watch something, and you're like, yes, that looks very cool, I'm going to try that. But then when the life and the light of our path says something we don't want to try it, I don't know why. It's not fun. I'm not sure. Everybody's got a reason why. Because it's different. Maybe that. You see, for so long, or for too long, our society has labeled Christianity as boring and not interesting and soft and pathetic and not manly. You get what I'm saying? But really, if I look at my life and I get to come and help people every day, and it depends in different ways, whatever God's got called and what happens to people's lives, but it's not boring. Amen. I might have something to say to somebody, some advice. You know what? Sometimes just saying good morning to somebody can change someone's day. Yes. Right? I'm quite bad at it because I get to work and I get caught up in my head, and then I'll say good morning in the afternoons. Still say it though. But you get what I'm saying? I have opportunity to talking to somebody's life, speaking to someone's life, and make a difference. I have the opportunity to give somebody extras to try and teach them the value of not swearing. You hate me then, but you love me later. You get what I'm saying? I've kind of made peace with that. That's fine. But my life is by no means boring. I have this little book, I should have just brought it with, where a few years ago I asked God to give me a house, give me a means to provide for my son. I was into Jenna back then, we started dating, and I was like, yeah, can I be married to this girl? And we got married. And, I asked God for my own ministry and all these kind of things, and God's answered all those requests. I mean, I answered them immediately. I prayed for healing of my shoulders and healing of my ankles and healing for my eye. My shoulders and my ankles are fine. I still can't see so lekker out of my left eye. So if you want to hit me, use your right. Okay? Ask Jock.
Doesn't work.
But you see, so I can either go a 2 out of 3, Lord God, you're not really God. I don't know why God hasn't done. That doesn't matter. You yield to others. You know what I mean? I asked God for the Toyota Hilux Bucky. Okay, I'm driving a Kia. But God also saw the petrol price and the diesel price. So, who knows? If I was driving a Bucky right now, it would have sucked. I drove that Kia truck to Middleburg. It's like 900 and something Ks. I drove 2,000, like 500 rand in diesel. I'm a pastor. I'm not a freaking business owner. It's crazy. So maybe God saw something coming. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. So, sorry, I'm getting off topic. Proverbs 6 verse 23. For a command is a lamp, a teaching is a light, and corrective discipline is the way to life. Who hates corrective discipline? Let's be honest.
Yes, they will be.
Right? Sucks. But that's the one thing that shows you how to live.
Yes.
So I say that many times, you guys hear me about it often, because I also judge, I also battle with it. I sometimes judge myself on these things. Like on Thursday we spoke about mumbling, grumbling and complaining. And just before that, yes, I was mumbling and grumbling and complaining about buying a fridge and all these things costing money and this and that, and I have to go teach that class, you know. I'm preaching to myself. And then, this afternoon, 2:30, I get an SMS. Somebody got my game card and cloned it and drew like almost 10,000 rand on my game card, you know. That sucks. But I refuse to get put down by these things. It's only money, you know what I mean? Plus, there's cameras in shops and we'll get them, and I know a few people in Middleburg. Just saying. No, I'm joking, I won't do that. Alright, so corrective instruction, guidance, counsel, points us in the right direction. If you are sitting with a bunch of people that you trust and they all tell you not to do something and you go do the thing they're not telling you to do, it's not your counsel that's bad, it's your hearing.
Amen.
That's bad. You see, corrective discipline or instruction or a command is given to you without emotion attached to it. For example, if somebody tells you you need an 8-month program, it's without emotion, right? It's what you need for the best for you, or what the people think is best for you, right? There's no, we want to rob this guy of freedom, or we want to take away this, we want to take, it's just what's best for you, but there's no emotion attached to it. You get that instruction, or that command, or that teaching, or whatever the case may be, with emotion attached to it. With some expectation that you had attached to it, something there, and then you are in disagreement, but that doesn't automatically make you right, or you become offended because you don't agree with the instruction given. You see what I'm saying? It goes sideways. But remember, it's a way to life. We still have to choose to submit to it, to make it a part of us. Go to Proverbs 7. From verse 1, it says, "My son, obey my words and treasure my commands. Keep my commands and live. Protect my teachings as the pupil of your eye. Tie them to your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your relative. I am yet to meet the person who protects the wisdom or God's commands as the pupil of their eye. That's some serious sold outness. You hear what I'm saying? But because we have a laxy-daisy approach to these things, could that not be, or is it not maybe the reason why we're not living a full life? Because I'm not using it or protecting it as the pupil of my eye. It's not that valuable to me. Because you all know Emma, my little doggy, right? Well, Jenna's dog, but it chose me, so she just pays for it. Imagine if I protected wisdom as I would that little dog. Because to me it's such a little frail little thing, and it's so cute and it's so beautiful, and it's just a cool little thing. I know it sounds weird. This is like a rugged man that loves a little York. Get one, it will change your life. Right? If I protected wisdom as I would protect that dog, or if I protected wisdom as I would protect my kids, if I protected wisdom as I would protect my wife or my friends, wisdom would protect me.
Amen.
Imagine how much I would be covered. Amazing, right? Because for all those people and all those things I just mentioned, I might, let me be real, I might give my life. I don't know if I would when push comes to shove. Right? I might. For my kids and my wife, maybe, I don't know, Jock, I don't know, I may be wrong, yeah. But you know what I mean? It's intensely important to me, these relationships. But wisdom I regard as something that's optional.
Sure.
In the Bible it says, wisdom was before the creation. Before the earth was formless, I was, it says. Something like that. It's in Proverbs 7, so here. So it's from the beginning. Now, if we don't want something that's been there from the beginning, is going to be there to the end and always will be, if we don't go on and protect that in our lives, we will be. Alright, Proverbs 10 verse 17. The one who follows instruction is in the path of life, but the one who rejects correction goes astray. Now, take your life. If Jericho is the place that you've been led astray, well, it's because you were led astray, you ended up in Jericho, right? So let's say that. Alright? But before you got led astray, did you not reject someone's correction?
Yes.
Somebody told you something that you shouldn't do, and you were like, oh man, what do you know? Right? So, based on that and based on true life experience, is this verse the truth? Crazy stuff, right? So, just before we go astray, there's a solution, and it says, the one who follows instruction is on the path of life. We don't always know better. We seldom do. It's very difficult for me to see my faults, but everybody else can see them easier than I can. Surround yourself with trustworthy people. Get counsel from the Word. Pray a lot. Follow instructions. Okay. We get so used to accommodating our problems. Right? We get so used to accommodating the enemy or accommodating our shortcomings. You know, if you go into a guest house, get booked in, there's a reception, it's a nice parking area, you walk in there, some nice music playing, and then there's a receptionist there, and they're like, "Hi sir, how are you? Have you made a booking?" And everything's nice, and it's like, "Would you like some coffee, or some cold water, or cold drink," or whatever the case may be, and it's like, and you're in there, and you just want to be there. So they're so accommodating. Then they take you through to the room or the flat or whatever you've booked, And you go in there and there's chocolates on the bed, the towels are nicely rolled up. You know, it's nice. It's like, we do that to our problems. Come in, welcome. Would you like a glass of water? Some refreshing. Oh, would you like a 2-litre Coke? I was about a beer, bud. You know what I mean? Take our problems through to this nice lacquer room. You're like, yeah, best place here, underfloor heating. Man, it's just like an open fridge and it's just beautiful. It's our problem and we like to accommodate it.
Amen.
Isn't that what we do?
Yes.
And then when we get corrected on it, we get offended at the people who correct us because we want to keep our problem.
Amen.
Imagine correction comes, you do the same thing. Hi, correction, how are you? Fine, last night to drink. Everything going well? How was the trip? We'll put the aircon colder for you. Let me show you your room. Oh, we'll give you like a night for free because you came in at this time or that time. Accommodate correction. How would your life change? Eh? Crazy stuff, but that's what we do. Right. Are you so used to things being the way they are that you just accept it? So, I really like ice cream, really. And my favorite one is rum and raisin. So if I buy rum and raisin, Jenna hates it, so it's mine. The whole time it's mine. So then I chow rum and raisin, and then this morning I get on the scale, and I'm like, okay, I'm still safe. And I go back, and then tonight I'll chow some again, and then I go. And then eventually, I just let go, you know. Rum and raisin is so much nicer than being healthy and all these things. But am I going to say to myself, yeah, you know, you really love ice cream and you'll never change, or am I going to stop buying ice cream and make the change? Silly example, but that's what we do. I'll always be an alcoholic or a drug addict, or I'll always be dysfunctional, or you know what, I'll always smoke, or I'll always be critical and judgmental. It's just how I'm made. And is it really? I'll always have problems, or I'll always have these struggles in my life. And it's just because of my childhood. Or it's because this happened at that place, or I was maybe molested, or I was raped, or I was bullied, or something happened. You get what I'm saying? But now it's because of that I will always have this. But here's my question, really? And I don't mean it to offend somebody, but will you really have it because of that, or will you really have it because you want it and you accommodate it?
Amen.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy to get rid of it, because if you want to evict this person out of this awesome guest house, it's going to suck. They're not going to want to go. But you get some friends, you get some people, and you get them out of it. Or how's about you get a tenant to come in that's much stronger and better, and that the tenant just gets rid of it? It's even better. Because then you'll have a special room. All you have to do is get rid of that person. Go in, you hear a few papa, ow, ow, and the other guy's out there. Maybe. Are you a storehouse for the enemy? Because things you don't deal with get stored. So how full is your storehouse? You see, life gives us these moments where we get faced with frustrations or pains or discomforts, and it brings stuff out in us. But if we don't deal with that, it just gets stored again. And then when something uncomfortable happens later on in life, it pops up again. But if we don't deal with it, it gets stored again. And then we start carrying this big backpack full of things stored, we can't even walk anymore. But if you are in control of the storehouse, why is it full? And why is it full of the wrong things and not the right things? How would instruction change your life if you guard it and you accommodate it? How would wisdom, let me use wisdom, not instruction. Wisdom sounds a little bit more accommodating than instruction. How would your life change if you accommodated wisdom? what would be different? Everything. Okay, I want to leave you guys with a few one-liners.
Amen.
Okay? Alright. Sometimes the circumstances we want to change are the very circumstances God uses to change us.
Amen.
These are a few things few statements that stand out to me. I've got this little book to write things down in, so I chose a few just to go share with you guys. Sometimes the circumstances we want to change are the very circumstances God uses to change us. Okay. In the fear of looking foolish, it is the fear of looking foolish that is foolish.
Amen.
God will say, go do this, and we're like, no, Lord, that's going to be embarrassing. And then we don't do it. The foolish part is not willing to be foolish. I watched this movie a long time ago, and the guy in the movie had stage fright. They were going to play a tennis match or something, and he had stage fright. So going onto the court, his coach tripped him, and he fell. He's like, why did you do that? He said, well, now you're done being embarrassed. Please play tennis. Pretty cool, but it worked, you know. So it's the fear of looking foolish that is foolish. Yeah, this one, until the pain of staying the same becomes more intense than the pain of change, nothing happens.
Amen.
Until the pain of staying the same becomes more intense than the pain of change, nothing happens. So if you are okay with being not okay, you're going to stay not okay. Okay. We were born on a battlefield, and we have to choose sides. I like that one. That's the truth. Good against evil. You choose. Changes things a little bit. Because we've all heard about this Jesus, and we've all heard about the Satan character. And if we have to choose a side now, who would we choose? You would choose the person who's got the best character traits. Because we all know, if I choose Satan and he wins, I don't really want him to win because I've just heard bad stuff. And if I choose Jesus, I've heard good stuff. So I'm going to choose him. But that's the choice that we sit with every day. So you choose. Okay, if you do the right thing for the wrong reason, it doesn't count. Okay, your motives are wrong. It still looks right, but it doesn't count. Okay. So you know when you get called to committee and you get in trouble for something that you've done wrong, and then one of the monitors did something wrong and you didn't say anything about it, but now you want to say something about it because you're in trouble and you're hoping that it will get you less trouble? Doesn't count. Same thing. If you wanted to do the right thing, you would have done it. Alright. Here we go. It's how you handle. How you handle your mistakes, how you handle your disappointments, how you handle adversity, and how you handle offense. That's it. It's how you handle. Okay, yeah, this one is going to offend some people. Yes. Wherever you are, there you are. Stop trying to be somewhere else. Okay. We're all on extras, and then we want to be at siesta. Or I'm at the pigs and I want to be in the kitchen. Or I'm in Rio and I want to be at home. Or I'm over here and I want to be there. Wherever you are, there you are. Make the best of it. Okay. Your integrity is your destiny. That is crazy scary. If your integrity is questionable, I don't know what your destiny is going to look like. I've come to know in life, certain times, I'm okay with my integrity, and at other times I realize, Jesus, got a long way to go. Please help me. certain things will change in life, might compromise on small things, but that means my destiny is going to be compromised and it's going to change. Right, so your integrity is your destiny. Alright, you win and lose long before the battle. This is true. And the last one, don't let what you cannot do keep you from doing what you can do. Okay, let's pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for, oh man, Lord, just thank you for the journey, thank you for the time, thank you for being able to help people. I just really pray that you just do wonderful work in everybody's hearts, everybody's life. Maybe take what was said here today and what's going to be said in the future, what was said in the past. I just pray that you water that Holy Spirit and cause the increase in people's lives. I thank you that I've had opportunities at Jericho for growth, for fun, for pleasure, and some challenges. I just pray that you keep everybody in the palm of your hand. I pray that you just show these people who you really are. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Have a good evening, everybody.